Hey y'all, we got gobblers in the yard around this old place. Look at those chairs. I've had them on the porch for. Love Texas. I do. It's funny about a gift, and these were about a year and a half ago. No matter how trivial or whatever, a gift when it's given, the recipient always remembers that person every time they see it. And that's good stuff. The old good book says it's better to give than to receive, and I've been on both sides of that. I'd have to say the former is truly greater than the latter. Now I'm settling in after a long week at work, fruitful week, blessed week. Had a pretty busy weekend, I suppose. We'll talk about it here in a minute, lightly. But this old pot here, imagine that, it's got a big old Texas star on it. Y'all see it? Let me see if y'all can see that. I noticed this about 3 weeks ago. I planted a strawberry plant in that pot. That's not strawberries. There's a strawberry plant in there and it's making fruit. But I recognize that other plant all too well as it grew and put on leaves. Tomatoes and strawberries growing in the same pot. Tomato didn't have a choice of a seed dropped inadvertently, as I did some planting here a while back. But there they grow, side by side, the same dirt. They're different. They didn't either one have a choice to be seeded as a strawberry or a tomato. But there they grow. The same dirt, they drink the same water, breathe the same air, and they'll both produce fruit. And neither had a choice in what they were. I don't like to get into a lot of political or dissentience talk, if you would, but I'll make the point that we're all humans. We all pretty much walk the same earth. Some of us a wet pasture that's overgrown, and some of us a desert, some of us some woods and mountains. But we're all put here for a purpose, to bear fruit. Sometimes our own thoughts get in the way. Y'all ever had a bunch of turkeys following you? Never mind. Maybe you have. But they've got a purpose as well, don't they? No, I'm headed east tomorrow. Had hoped to kind of do some things that way today, but work had other plans, and that's what pays the bills. We got to get that done. But we'll go to East Texas tomorrow, Jordan and I, and the company I work for. Y'all know who it is. I didn't really want to be mentioned, but I'm going to do it just the same because props need to be given where they need to be given. But it's not much, but we're going to take some food that way for the pets, and maybe a few tarps. But the coast got damaged pretty hard in Louisiana with Laura. We dodged that bullet, as I've said. That turkey might have blown away had she decided to come here. What are you doing? But it's an old connection. I lived in Jasper for a little while and had some really good friends over there. And, so it's a little close to home. But Newton's a little town that sits east of Jasper, and it's rural. They have a volunteer fire department. They've got some good folks over there. Trouble is, when a metropolitan area or a big populated area gets hit, as things happen with natural disasters, Lake Charles, I assume, and we've seen, got some friends down there working hard and volunteering. It's been decimated. The power infrastructure is pretty much gone. But folks like me out here in the country, there's not a whole lot of people in a 10-mile radius necessarily. Here there is, because I'm close to town, but you take those rural areas and you may have a lady that's been making it on her own for 80 plus years and doesn't have a whole lot she can maintain until something bad hits. But people of all different races out that way that just surviving and loving life. But sometimes they need a little help. And that's what we do as Americans, right? You won't see it on the news all the time, and I don't guess it really belongs there. The loudmouths get on the news, but the quiet helpers don't. And that's by design, because they don't look for it. Maybe we need to look for more of those helpers, right? So Jordan and I are going to load up tomorrow. We're partnering with the volunteer fire department over there. They've got a dozen or so homes that need a little patch on the roof. And I winced all week this week. Intended to go out there Wednesday. Work wouldn't allow it. Not from a corporate standpoint, but responsibility standpoint. But as it's rained here in East Texas, I look out and we love seeing the rain. We always use it, but I know what it's like to have that roof leaking and not have a comfortable, safe place to be dry. Maybe the lights are off and the water's not there. The small conveniences that we all take for granted. You can make your argument about being better prepared, but I'm not going to listen to it. Those people are living life, and it just happened. So it's on our call to give a little bit of help. And a lot of times it's just in labor, doesn't need money. But we're going to run that way and put some tarps on some houses. Hopefully tomorrow, if the rain holds. If it doesn't, we'll still make a supply run. And so thankful to have Labor Day right on us. It's kind of ironic. Labor Day, we celebrate the American worker. What better way to do that than helping somebody? I know what I'm getting into, and maybe I need that. We get so caught up in all the mess around us. You really want to do something and reset your mind, go help somebody that's in real need. That'll do it. And I'll most assuredly get more soul rewarding time out of that than they will the nice dry spot that they will live in until the complete relief comes and fixes it for good. Because it is better to give than to receive. I've been taught that by some of the biggest influences in my life. I've seen it in Waco when I was there. Think of the Howingtons and their leadership, and the Gans. And you don't need another first name. Doesn't matter. I hate to even start naming names, but just leadership. It's not charity. It's just what we do. What we should do. I might even have to feed these turkeys. They ain't got no thumbs. Even though they got plenty of pasture. What y'all looking at me for? Goofballs. At least they didn't die in the rainstorm today. From looking up at it like they'll often do. But just that's on my mind tonight. T-shirts, thank y'all for the orders. That's good stuff. It intended to get all those wrapped up and ordered on Tuesday, but they're in the mix. And they'll be shipping out first of the week. Just kind of got a couple of phone calls early in the week, and since the storm didn't hit here, even though I knew folks were hurting, just kind of out of sight, out of mind, unfortunately, but call for help came, and folks in Newton need some help. A lot of folks need some help, maybe even in your town, not even due to a hurricane. Maybe you can go out and find somebody that you could give just a little assistance to. You see that old woman or that old man sitting on the porch with an overgrown yard? Wouldn't hurt to load up the lawnmower and go over there and mow it and go on about your way. It'd make them smile, but it'd make you smile even more. It's just how I see it. They do need help. I shared a couple of posts on my timeline out there in Newton. It's a small town. rural. And those of you that are looking to put a little help that way, that information is on that post, and they'd be glad to see it. I asked her yesterday what the biggest needs were, other than the tarps, and it's labor. Kind of odd being here. I'd had a network of a lot of good big helpers, and just about communicating each other. But that was in Waco. We're a little closer now, which is good. Only an hour away. Don't necessarily have that network here, but it just takes a couple of hands and a few feet to get it done. So we'll do it with what we got. But anybody wanting to load up and go that way, we'll be at the given the rain. It may rain tomorrow out that way. If it does, we're still going to make a supply run. I will say this, as a feed company that I work for, told them the need, and we're going to take a lot of pet food over that way, and some tarps to try to make a dent until the bigger structure can get involved. But even if we just do 10 or 12, it's going to be 10 or 12 folks that sleep with a little better peace that night, right? So that's what we're called to do. It's about a pebble in a big old pond. I tell you, if you've been in a disaster situation, you can become overwhelmed very quickly. And those volunteers at the fire department and all those that are helping and sweating out of their comfort zone, they've got homes in a mess too, but they're out there serving. We got to step up a little bit. Blessed to be in a position to do that, so we're going to do that. Who knew that Jordan's old white truck was going to be part of that solution a few weeks ago, right? It'll be loaded down tomorrow with pet food and tarps, and he and I will be headed that way, and we're blessed to do it. But y'all reach out to Newton Volunteer Fire Department if you need the direction. I can give you that to do any type of help directly to those folks. But they came to West Texas back when it exploded. That's a long story in itself. A group of volunteers kind of put out the call, and one of the folks that got killed in that explosion, his wife, a widow, lived in a home with disrepair, and we all showed up and made a pretty big impact there, and that was cool. They came all the way from Newton, Texas to Waco, and that's a drive, y'all. Didn't have a hotel room that anybody paid for. Just showed up and helped. They said they were calling in all their favors on their little video with the news company. Yeah. Newton would be New York City if they called all of them in. As many folks that they've helped. But they don't want that. They just need to get their citizens back to where they can survive and live again. And it'll be fine. Disasters will come and they'll pass, and we all have faith that we move right on. So anyway, that's what tonight is on my mind. I love seeing the rain here on this place, but boy, it made me wince, because I know that they're getting poured on over there. So many people in the East Texas corridor just getting soaked is what happens with every disaster. But turkeys are good, everybody's good, Sissy's loving life and taking care of things. We got new babies hatching out from the last round of incubation. So that's a good thing, right? New life. Fall garden's not going to happen here. I'm so excited. We're almost less than a month away from my daughter's wedding up in North Carolina. I always say North Carolina. Why do I do that? South Carolina. We're looking forward to going and seeing her and spending some time with them. And I got a big birthday coming up tomorrow. Not mine, but it's a guy that taught me a lot. I don't know if lot even is the right verb or adjective for that. My dad celebrates a birthday tomorrow, so y'all feel free to wish him a happy birthday. May have to give him a shout out tomorrow. We'll take a look and see what's going on in Jasper and Newton area. But may share some things with you tomorrow and some stories of hope. That's what it's all about. I'll promise you this. No color will be seen tomorrow. It's funny about a disaster. When we're in our lowest of lows, we don't see color. We don't see social class. We don't see any of that, do we? Would it be wrong to live that way all the time? I'd argue that it wouldn't be. When the pressure gets hot, that's when we're most real. When we're human once more. Wouldn't wish it on nobody, but maybe everybody needs a hole in their roof to get back to what we should be. Right? Oh well, there I go grandstanding. But it's still the truth. Let me do a quick roll call and we'll jump off here for the evening. It's about dark here. Hope y'all are well and have had a good week. Let's see what we got here. There's Mr. Randy, my good buddy. Like that Texas style chair. Yes, sir. I like it too. I don't sit in it. I actually sit across from it so I can look at it. Is that weird? Not if you're a Texan. Something about sitting on the Lone Star. Kind of like making a shirt out of a flag. It's better to look at the flag, wear your own shirt, sit in another chair and look at the Texas chair. I know I'm weird. That's just how I see it. But I have sat in the chair. It's very comfortable. Just saying. There's Miles, Arlington, Texas. Be the light. Thank you, sir. Miss Mandy's checking in. Good to see you in the store the other day, man. Thanks for that. Miss Felicia, Bella says hi to Pawpaw. Bubby is coming soon. Yeah, I talked to my son last night, and y'all continue to say prayers for both of them as they navigate this pregnancy. There's a few little complications, nothing God can't handle, but life's kind of topsy-turvy there as they go through their young part and the young years of their marriage, and I'm so proud of both of them for hanging in there and just rolling with the punches. Me and Jeremy had a good talk last night. That was very refreshing for me to get some things out. There's Karen Wood Smith. Love to live in the country. Live in a small town in southeast Missouri. Cedar Park's checking in with Sander. There's Darlene Selvage Walker. Every porch needs hospitality chairs. There you go. Sending regards and prayers from Western Washington. All right, thank you. There's Gene Permenter from Martinsville, right down the road. Good rain today, yes, sir. Hey, Pickle. Oh, I guess she's responding to somebody else up in here. There's Lelia Miller. Evening to you, ma'am. My good friend Melinda Earl up in Nebraska. I think I got that right. It's been a while, Melinda. Hope so. Thank you. Doris is saying, bless you and Jordan on your stay. No problem. Well, we'll commute back and forth. It's not but an hour. Let's see. There's Joanne Smith catching you live. Hey, how about that? Mr. Luke, he's over in Australia, I believe. And Angela's saying howdy. There's my good buddy down Huntsville Way, Donna Wells. How are you, ma'am? Oh, she's not even in Texas. I guess she's headed back this way, she says. There's Mr. Andrew in Interlochen, Florida. Blessings and prayers to all still in need. Deborah saying howdy. There's Terry. Flying around like a little... Oh, I know. Them turkeys are something else. There's Miss Deborah. Nancy Akers saying howdy. Terry. That's right. Love those words you said. There's Miss Grace. Called to be servants. That's right. Angela, happy birthday to Dad. Yep, that's well in order for sure. Thank you for that. Miss Della Rose Morris. Dan Ricky. Pawpaw Johnson. That's good. There's Roy saying howdy. I'm still scrolling, y'all. Y'all bear with me. There's Kelly. Have a safe trip. Be like to the others. Los Angeles hit 112. Good Lord have mercy. In September. I do love Texas. Yeah. August is hot. My goodness. 112. Woo. There's Hay from Sander and Burton Holt. Thank you, ma'am. Deborah's in Michigan. Nancy, happy birthday to my dad. Thank you. May's missing Nacogdoches. It's worthy to be missed, but you got to serve and plant and be a light where you're planted, no matter what, right? Lilia said she's got a birthday tomorrow. Her and Dad share the same one. Allie Floyd's still kicking here. I've been wondering about you. I hadn't heard from you in a while. There's Gary. and Luke, he's in Australia. All right, well, the sun's gone, clouds have covered it, and it's time to set this old circus down for the evening, y'all. But, y'all do what you can where you're planted. That's the main thing. Thank the Lord I'm planted close enough and able to go make just a small difference tomorrow. Even if we get a couple of them done, that'll be 2 more people that may sleep easier that night, right? People try to go out and make grand strokes. That's not what it's about. Make the small, quiet ones. That's where the difference is made. Y'all be the light. I think Sissy's holed up in the house. She needs to make her evening run, so I'm going to remind her of that. We'll talk with y'all later.